Our next guest is a well-known popular folk singer, and a few years ago he was one of the finalists on the All-Ireland Talent Show, but he has spent years trying to find his birth mother, but the trail always felt cold. Don Stiffy, very welcome to the show.
Welcome, John. Good to see you, John.
Don, if we go back to the beginning, I suppose, when you were younger, did you know you were adopted?
I did, at a very early stage. I knew kind of around 7 or 8 years of age, kind of communion time, we'd say. I always knew I was adopted. It was made clear to me at home, and I thought it was kind of normal. You know?
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I kind of thought a lot of people were adopted, actually.
Yeah.
I suppose a lot more people were adopted because there were more children, you know, growing up in your day that were. Yeah. You were adopted in Tipperary, is that right?
I was adopted out of Seanross Abbey in Roscrea in 1967.
Right.
In May.
And you were, what, a few months old?
3 months old.
Yeah.
3 months old.
Tell us about this. This is your family here.
Yeah, that's my mother, Margaret, there, and that's the family behind the lane, my wife, and Roisin and Erla and Owen. And I have to say, Mum, very, very supportive since the first day. Yeah. And my father, God rest him, but they made it clear to me that I was adopted. And it was normal to me. I grew up in that house and in that community, very, very...
Yeah. If you think, I suppose if you look at Bohermore and Galway, it's a very close community inside in the city.
Inside in the city, yeah. And, you know, I was just one of the lads growing up. That was it. Yeah. I took it normal.
Was there always something inside you, OK, I want to find out where I came from then?
There was. You always have a little longing in your heart, you know, who's my real mom or who's my real dad, or did I have a brother, did I have any more sisters? You always question yourself, but I didn't want to infiltrate that into my parents because I knew it was kind of a private thing for them, even though they were very open to me about it. I didn't want to break their privacy, you know, to do anything about it. I was searching in my heart, but I didn't want to go over on top of them and say, look, I'm going to look for them. Not really, no.
What age were you then when the search began, or how did the search begin?
Well, the search happened, I mean, I didn't really go officially searching for my birth mother until only a couple of years ago, late in 2015. I met a clairvoyant in New York, Emma Birdie, and she happened to be in the same apartment with me. And she just said to me over a cup of coffee, she said, what's your Tipperary connection? Just like that.
Out of the blue?
Out of the blue. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, she said, there's a Kathleen or a Catherine dreams about you, things about you all the time. And that kind of really...
That sent shivers down your spine.
And then she said, your relations here in New York. I said, I don't have any relations. She said, you have relations
hadn't told her that you had been adopted?
Not at all. I hadn't told her anything. And at that stage, I didn't realise, I knew I was adopted from Seanross Abbey, but I didn't realise that I had a Tipperary connection, only that I was adopted from there.
Yeah.
Did you never wonder, though, growing up, because you knew where you were adopted, did you never wonder, like, Tipperary is not that far from Galway?
It's not that far, only when the hurling was on, Maura. That's, I get a pull.
Yeah, but you never felt the need, was it just waiting because your adoptive parents, as you said, you didn't want to upset them, you felt you were happy in your life, everything was good, you had a great upbringing with your parents.
And as I said, I thought it was the norm until I got to my teenage years, then I knew it wasn't. But after meeting that lady, when I came home from America, I registered straight away with the adoption agency, and I said, I've got to do this.
Yeah.
You know.
And so you go in and you give all your details, and were you expecting an answer straight away, or did you think this will take a while? Or?
I thought I'd get some answers fairly quick, but it didn't happen that way. You know, I registered with the adoption agency, and then they said to me, you know, you're going to have to wait to see is there a connection there, to see is there anybody looking for you. So unfortunately there wasn't.
Okay. So can we fast forward then how it actually happened, how you were reconciled with your family?
What happened was I was coming back from a gig with, I was doing a gig in County Wexford. I'd done a concert with Kilkenny Band, and the next day Ross Gray was on my way home. And I stopped for a cup of coffee, and we had a beautiful concert the night before in a church. And just as I was moving away, I had rang my wife Elaine to say, I'm here in Roscrea, the orphanage is across the road. She said, look, do what you think yourself, today might be the day. And then I got Dutch courage. I got into the car to go, and then the toot on the horn. The priest was behind from the following night. He was going to visit his brother in Galway. And what are you doing here? So I was talking, and I told him. He said, look, you've got to go across the road today, get into that orphanage, and, you know, rest yourself and give yourself
peace of mind.
Peace of mind.
It was closed then for a long time.
It was closed, but what I didn't realise that day, Maura, that there was the first ever mother and baby home commemoration day. I didn't realise that was happening that day.
So everything was just the stars were aligning.
Yeah, everything was, all the ducks were coming in line in front of me. Yeah, so I asked one of the stewards, you know, what's going on? He said, there's a commemoration day here today, so I said, I just want to go to the graveyard for a visit. So,
yeah.
I went up and said a prayer. Michael Hess was the man that was in front of me, and that was Philomena's son. So the new headstone.
Philomena Lee.
Philomena Lee's son, Anthony. Yeah, that he was buried there because he had to come back. It was in his dying will to be buried.
Right, of course
his
he was
mother would find
there.
him,
Yeah.
and she did find him there eventually. The poor lady.
You became friends with Philomena?
Well, I came down from that graveyard to walk home. I met Philomena and her daughter on the way down to the passage, and she said, "I seen you up at my son's graveyard," and she asked me why I was there, and I told her. So she said, "Come on with me now and come down here to the commemoration," and that's what happened.
That's so strange.
I met another lady there, then got talking to her, and she helped me with my story.
Yeah.
It
was a jigsaw, really.
Well, I was allocated as a social worker, but they told me I wouldn't get any information for 18 months.
Okay.
So I had to move quick.
You know, and we'll have to move quick to say how you actually then met them, because of course we're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened when you met
Well,
them.
I got what happened was everything came to line. I got this phone call from this lady, and she said, "I found your mother." She said she's in England, but unfortunately she passed away just about a year and a half ago.
That's exactly like the Philomena story.
Yes,
really,
just
with her
missed her.
son.
I just missed her.
Seriously.
But she said you have 5 brothers and sisters. You have one living in Dublin, Marie, and and that's my birth mother there, Margaret, darling.
My goodness.
Oh, God.
And
so you were so close, Don.
so close.
So
yeah,
close.
Yeah. And the funny thing, I met Marie, and Marie has given me a little thing of her. That's my brother Tom now.
Look at this.
And
Now.
that's
This
Marie
is,
there.
this is in America, is it?
Yeah, it's my biological
You're
brother.
so alike. Aren't you so alike?
Yeah, there's definitely a resemblance.
Did you see him coming down
He
the
can't
street?
deny me. He better not deny me.
Now, is he in the States, Don?
No, he's living in Ireland.
Oh, he's living in Ireland.
And who's the lady in the
Marie lives
middle,
Ireland.
Don?
Marie, that's my sister.
Was it? God.
Yeah, and that's down at the home place where they came from.
Yeah. Have you more of them to meet, have you?
I have more to meet.
More to meet.
We're in contact on social media.
Yeah.
And
What was that first contact like?
it was unbelievable.
Were they in the same situation as you?
They had similar circumstances to me when they were younger, but they didn't know about me. Only the oldest sister, Kathleen, that the clairvoyant told me in England. She remembered me being a baby.
Were
in
you
the
the
hospital.
only one adopted out of the family?
No, I believe there's others adopted in the family as well, yeah. But it's a slowly process at the minute. You know, I'm walking into people's lives, so I have to be very careful how I take that journey, for them and for me, of course. And I've done a big stint of concerts there before the Christmas in New York, and I met a cousin for the very, very first time, a first cousin. That happened on Facebook, out of the blue. He made contact with me because he heard one of my songs, and then he said, "God Almighty," he said, "I love your singing. Brought my wife down to listen to you. There's something about your voice. We don't know what it is. Can I be your friend on Facebook? Can I share your music?" I said, "Yeah." So then he got a phone call from Ireland to say, "Do you know that man could be related to you?"
My God.
So then it transpired that his mother and my mother were sisters, and we're first cousins.
My God.
It's so strange.
Don, you're going to sing a song for us. You'll always be my mother at the end of the show. Just tell us about it, because it's a very, very special song.
Well, the song "You'll Always Be My Mother" it's kind of a bit of gossip, as Ireland is unique for. And my mother was coming home from shopping one evening, and she met this person, and this is about 25, 27 years ago, and this person said, "Isn't it great Don found his mother at long last?" And my mother was just shocked. You know, she came home and she said, "God, I'm delighted for you, Don, but," she said, "I thought you would have told me of your journey." And I said, that's not really what happened, man.
It's just
So
gossip.
I wrote a little poem for her, and I called it gossip first, and then I changed it to "You'll Always Be My Mother."
Because your mother is the person who raised you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's your
A
real
gas
always
car,
be-
no.
Oh yeah, not too bad. No, not too bad. She'd let you know who she
She'll
is.
put you in your
anyway.
face very fast, no.
Don't be fooled by the smile there.
Don, it's fascinating, and as you said, it's still being unveiled. I mean, you're
It's
still meeting people. It's
I'm
ongoing.
still meeting. It's ongoing. Yeah, it's wonderful, and I'm getting people are contacting me. You know, I'm getting personal stories. People are asking for help, and I'm there to help them. But I'm not a social worker, so I can only go so far. I can only give them a stepping stone. You know.
Great.
Don, you're going to sing for us later on. You're doing loads of gigs. We'll put it up on our Facebook page as well. And what's your own website?
It's donstiff.com, and that'll bring you straight into my Facebook music as well page. There, where I'm in Garton. I'm in Garton next week in Galway, and I'm in Valerie's in Aughrim, and I'm doing a tour of Kerry.
Great.
Yeah, Listowel and Kimera and Waterford.
You have the passport got, Don. Don, great to see you. We look forward to hearing you sing at the end of the show.
Great, Don. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much indeed.